Hey guys, this is Kamiguno, and today I'm doing a review for Avengers Endgame. So let's start talking about this movie. Yes, I saw the Thursday premiere, of course. But yeah, with this movie review, like all my movie reviews, I'm going to do a non-spoiler portion and a spoiler portion. And the title of this review is, Was Avengers Endgame Worth the Hype? And the quick answer for me is yes. I really enjoyed this movie, and I thought it culminated all of the Marvel movies very well, and it definitely felt like an ending chapter, and it had a lot of callbacks to all the Marvel movies in a special way, so I really enjoyed that aspect, and that's all I can really say without spoilers. So yeah, if you are a fan of the Marvel franchise, I think you'll really enjoy this, and I like that there's a lot of things that happen. It's not just one big spoiler. There's one thing that's a big spoiler. There's many things that are big spoilers because there's a lot that happens, and I'm happy about that because Infinity War, like the big thing that happened was obviously Thanos snapping his fingers, but it's a bit more than that here, and I think it's even better than Infinity Wars. And probably one of my favorite Marvel movies, next to Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Black Panther. Those are my three I really enjoy. So I really think they did a good job with this one. So overall, I think I'm gonna hit the 5 stars. You know, I actually, I don't know if it's a perfect movie, but I know I fully enjoyed it, and even though it was 3 hours, it didn't feel like 3 hours, and it was a more character-driven story than really any other Marvel movie where I really felt the characters, and that's always been my complaint about Marvel movies, is that they're more action and plot-heavy, so it was really nice that this was a fully character-driven movie, even though there's some great action pieces. It felt like those action pieces had a bit more weight because of the focus on character here. So, yeah, given this one 5 stars, but let's get into the spoilers. Now, my only nitpicks here, and I didn't want to say it in the non-spoiler portion, is there wasn't a lot of Captain Marvel. I wanted more of her, but she gets some epic scenes. We had her, fight that whole entire ship and break it, so that was pretty cool. So the stuff we did see of her was cool. And the short haircut was a nice nod to the comics, so I'm curious if they're going to keep that, and where we're going to see Captain Marvel next. And that's my other nitpick, is that as much as I love that this is a closing chapter, I wanted a scene or something to really show where is the next Avengers going. Who are in the next Avengers? I wanted the young Avengers, but obviously they did not have time for that. But I would have liked to see those aspects of the franchise as well. But I understand this is totally about the 10 years and it's about closing a book. Now, let's talk about death, right? Let's start talking about those big things that happen in this movie, which is Black Widow and Iron Man. So, Black Widow, I thought, was really well done, because she's a character that I haven't really been able to connect to, and I think a lot of people feel the same way. She hasn't been as developed as some of the other characters, but this one, especially with Hawkeye, I wish we actually saw their friendship a bit more in the franchise, but I love that they fought against each other, because they wanted to save each other. I thought that was such a nice scene, but I feel like they didn't really celebrate Black Widow as much as the other death, which is Iron Man. And with Iron Man, obviously it's just such a good scene. It's a scene we kind of knew was going to happen. So, yeah, I really like that. And I like where they took his life. It shows how much he's grown as a character. And they have so many callbacks to the original Iron Man movie. I love that Pepper was rescued. She had a suit. She was able to have some action as well. And then them having a daughter. And I'm curious to see where they're going to end up taking that in the future. As well, because Iron Man doesn't have a daughter in the comics, so really they could go anywhere with that character, so she's not tied to any comic mythos. Now, and also, one thing I have to say, though, a character I wanted to see more of was Cassie Lang. It was cool that she was an adult, and I love the small moment we do get of her, where, she's happy to see her dad. I think most writers and I guess teenage characters would be like, Dad, why have you been gone for so long? But she's just really happy to see him, and that's very much Cassie's character. So wish we saw more of her, but I hope they are setting up something more with Cassie, and because we know Kate's coming, so just would have been nice to get teased a little bit more with that. But yeah, what else? Captain America, I thought, was a really nice twist of what they ended up doing with him, and him, also being able to close a chapter but still be back in the background. And then us getting the final answer of who is going to be Captain America, which we know is Sam now. So that was a really pleasant ending. And then I guess this is kind of the confusing part, is like, I guess was with Peggy somehow. So if you're an Agent Carter fan, we do get to see a bit of Peggy. So, I guess somehow that ended up working. The one inconsistency about this movie, though, is that everyone kind of grew up, I think, even Hawkeye's kids, after they disappeared, but Peter's still a high school student. So I guess he didn't age, but everyone else kind of aged when they came back. I think the kids did. Yeah, so maybe they just looked older, but the girl was definitely the same actor. So I don't know where that went. Like, what happened to the 5 years that they lived? Are they older? I don't know. Did they have a life in that 5 years when they came back? Hopefully we get answers of that. What else happened in this movie? Hulk. I thought that was kind of a cool change of his character, and a good way for Mark Ruffalo to actually be Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk and showcase him. So they did kind of a Doc Green aspect of his character, so that was cool. Thor's journey was really interesting, and I think him being more comedic after Ragnarok did so well, I think it was a good choice to kind of make him be part of the more comedic cosmic stuff, because that is what succeeded with this franchise more than Asgardian things. And it was nice to see him kind of close that chapter, and Valkyrie to be the head of that is cool. So I like the direction they went with Thor. I mean, obviously with Marvel movies, they have a lot of gags, and I don't know if we had needed as much comedy as we did with his weight, but I did like it, especially the beginning, with the gaming and Fortnite stuff was a lot of fun and funny. I like the direction they went with Hawkeye. I've never been a big fan of his character in the movies. I like him in the comics, but I thought they went a really cool direction to focus more on the family, to open up the movie in this kind of silence of him seeing his family disappear was a really smart move, and I definitely care about his character more, and I'm really excited to see where this Disney Plus television show goes. And another character, I guess, which was the surprise MVP for me, was Nebula. A character that was this kind of hollow villain for me, becoming this cool hero. And I really enjoyed her arc and how much her character has grown. So that was cool. A scene I really liked in the action aspect of this movie, seeing the whole battlefield of all the heroes that we know from the MCU against Thanos' army was mind-blowing. And I love when all the girls came together and they end up fighting. I thought that was a really cool scene to say, hey, we're getting to the next phase of Marvel. We're going to see more women of Marvel. I thought that was really cool. So, overall, there's so much to talk about. I think I've hit all the things I wanted to say with this movie, at least with this particular video. One thing I was going to mention. See, so much to say. There's always going to be another thing you want to say. But with Black Widow's death, what does this mean for this movie? What's going on? And again, that goes back to, I want more in the movie, because I'm oh my god, I want some more teases, because we're so used to, from Marvel, getting those teases, getting the post-credits scene, we're going to know what's up next. Now, because we have the chapter ending, you're okay, but what's the next movie? Why do we have a Black Widow movie? What's going on? So there's definitely a lot of questions. I hope we get some answers to what direction we're going to see this franchise go now that they've closed Avengers Endgame. Are we going to get more Avengers movies? What type of movies are they going to be? There's definitely a long list of questions, which is what's so cool about this, is that personally, I didn't get spoiled for anything. It's cool that there are just so many big moments that you could really enjoy and love about this franchise. So yeah, overall, like I said, giving this 5 stars. Let me know in the comments below what did you think of the movie. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. This is Comic Uno. Definitely go follow me on Twitter and Facebook, and also go check out my comics like Father Like Daughter and They Call Her Dancer. And don't forget, every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time is Frontline Live, where we talk about our favorite comics and comic book news. So be sure to check that out as well. Bye guys.